Conceive, believe, achieve.
This is former UFC middleweight champion of the world, Michael Bisping.
Paddy the Baddy here. You're listening to Combat Sports UK.
And you're watching Combat Sports UK.
Shady Bichet with Combat Sports UK here. With me today is the Cage Warriors featherweight on a hot 3-pro fight win streak, looking to turn it into 4 on April 26th in Dublin, Ireland at Cage Warriors 188. Leon Arms. Leon, how you doing, man?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Awesome. Thanks so much for taking the time and being with me today.
No worries. Thanks for having me on.
So you are in sunny California, right?
Sunny California. Nice sunny street behind me.
I love it. How does that compare to home?
Oh, it's nice.
It's nice training there.
It's nice, warm weather. You don't feel your injuries as much. But I'll tell you what, this week's been a bit rainy. So
Listen, I'll take a little bit of rain over the snow we have here in New York.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, man. Well, that's nice. That's nice. All right, so let's talk about your upcoming fight, right? Actually, you know what? Before that, let's talk about some of the wins you have in the past. You have 3 professional wins so far, 3 different forms of victory.
Yeah.
Speak to me about the importance of being able to do all those things, do it all, and kind of what in your training enables you to be so versatile.
Just every day we train for every possibility, you know what I mean? We train grappling a lot, striking a lot. We mix it all into MMA. So it just happens, you know what I mean? You fight. You don't really go in there looking to get a certain type of victory. You always want to get a finish, but it just happens.
Yeah, I heard the only decision you have in the interview, you said, listen, a win is a win, right? You proved you can take it to the very end. I scored it for you. It was a tough fight, but compared to the other ones, you needed a full fight, right? We can't end them all early.
Exactly, 100%. And I feel like that fight just took me from here straight away. I got them 15 minutes in the cage. It was so valuable. I feel like it just changed my whole game as a whole. So I'm glad I got that in. And then I was glad to get it done nice and early in the next one.
Exactly. I think it's a pro to the resume. Like when you're building yourself up, it's like to have a little bit of everything, because you always hear like somebody has either a bunch of decisions, they get criticized for it, they get a bunch of because I don't know if he can finish the fight. Then they get a bunch of finishes. It's like his gas tank is questionable. It's like you have a little bit of everything. Listen, here's my resume. It's nice and spread.
Exactly, 100%. Do a bit of everything. Got the decision, got the submission, and the knockout.
So at this point, you could just pick any of the 3 for the next one, right?
Whatever I fancy. I fancy.
Well, speaking of, we're over 2 months away, a little over 2 months away from the next one, right? What do we know about Scott Harvey?
I know that he's 4-0. He's undefeated, like myself. He's pretty good. Biggest test of my career so far. 2 prospects going at it. I can't wait to fight, to be honest. It's a good one. It gets me excited. I've been training. I'm not fully in camp yet. I'm still a bit far out. We're just ticking over, improving the skills, sharpening things up.
Yeah. So you don't live in California, but you're there mostly to train.
I just come out here for my camps, yeah. So
okay. So you go out pretty early, it sounds like.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So about 8 to 10 weeks out, we come out here to have a nice full training and stuff like that. So we got a good long camp in to be fully prepared, which I always will be.
So you're not chasing, you said it a little bit earlier, you said, I'm not chasing anything specific. I'm going to get the win, whatever opportunity arises.
100%. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm going in there to put hands on him and finish him as early as possible. But if that doesn't happen and he survives, then I'll win a decision. It makes no odds to me. All I know is that whatever happens, I'm going to come out on top.
Nice. All right, well, let's go back real quick. I want to rewind to your fight. I think his name is Michael Falk. Cage Warriors 181.
Yeah.
I love that fight. And the reason I love that fight is because of some of the behind the scenes footage that I saw. There's a split screen that I saw on your Instagram that I think a couple other pages cross-posted, Cage Warriors being one of them. And it's a split screen of your corner and you fighting. And man, it's incredible. It's an incredible piece of film. Talk to me about the 3 folks that were in your corner and just what it was like to see those 2 clips side by side afterwards. Because I'll tell you right after what it was like seeing it as a fan and seeing the comments, like what people thought. But I want to hear from you about that corner and who those folks are.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it's always cool to see your corner work and being able to be calm enough to listen to them and implement it in the fight. They're my coaches out here in California. Jake Baraka and Mark Fuhrer. And then The other guy in the corner was Adam Darby, who I
Hmm.
train with and I live with.
He's a fighter too,
So
right?
he's a fighter too. He's going to be fighting on the same card
Very nice.
against some fella called Mad Dog. That'll be a good fight. Look out for that.
Nice. Yeah.
But yeah, it was good to have my coaches there. Then like my friend, training partner, just familiar voices that I could listen to in there. And this time that time around, I felt like, especially coming off that fight, the fight where I went to decision, I was just a lot more calmer. This time I was more present. I could do what I do in the gym, and I just felt like I unlocked some at that time. So
Yeah.
I can't wait to do it all again.
Yeah, the term that came to my mind watching that as many times as I did was flow state. You hear a lot, like I heard Demetrius Johnson talks about it in his videos all the time, the flow state. And it really, like, that's the first time, that's a great example because it was one of the first times where I saw what I think is actually the flow state. Everything's moving into, it's like a puzzle piece. And you know, watching it over and like seeing how picture perfect. The comments are incredible, by the way. Some of the comments were saying that it looked like your coach, he was super calm. It looked like he had a controller and he was just
Yeah,
controlling you like a video game. And then I think one of them said like this looks fake. Like it looks like he knew it's like he knew the outcome and he was speaking in reverse or something.
yeah,
So that's a great piece of content. So I'm just putting it out there. If folks want to see kind of the behind the scenes stuff, that's one of the things that I love about Cage Warriors, but also MMA Fight Academy out of San Diego. I think they post a lot of this content and it fulfills this craving that we get sometimes, you know, like similar to Embedded from the UFC.
yeah, yeah.
Seeing fighters, you know, especially you on the rise, like seeing the behind the scenes stuff just makes it all more fun to see you guys fighting. So I encourage folks to go and check out that video. Um, so I wanted to ask, like, I saw another video. So I was stalking your Instagram. Saw another video of your sister when you got a standing guillotine finish. I think it was your first pro fight, was it right?
Yeah, yeah, that was my
She,
first one. Yeah.
and your sister
I know
immediately
which one.
she goes, "What does that mean?" She saw
What does
you
that
walking
mean?
around the
Yeah.
cage. So what's it like to have your family? So it seems like you have your family support. You know, what was their opinions on you fighting? Was this always a plan? Were you wanting to fight since you were a kid?
Ever since I was a kid, before I even walked into a gym, I was always fighting, whether it was in a outside playing out, riding my bike, having a fight with someone, or if I went to a ball pit, I'd be looking for someone to fight. That's just something
Yeah,
I've always wanted to do. And my family have always supported it. My dad's always supported it since I was a kid. I told him I want to be world champion since I was about 8 years old. And initially, I wanted to be a boxing world champion, but
hmm.
because that's what my dad used to do. So he took me to the boxing gym.
Oh, very nice. I didn't know your dad was a boxer. Very nice.
Yeah, yeah. He had a good few fights. So he took me to his old boxing gym, and that's where the old journey started when I was 8 years old. And yeah, my family always support me. They're my biggest supporters. So to have that at home as well, and always
That's
have
great
that
to see.
support, it just
Yeah.
makes it all the better.
Man, that video is so funny. Like she, a standing guillotine, you don't see those very often, right?
Yeah.
And it was a beautiful executed guillotine. And then she's immediately asking, like, is it what's going on? Is that good?
She actually
Um,
knows a lot about MMA now, but
yeah, since then, right?
yeah. But I think just because it was standing and then the fight stopped, she had a few drinks. I know she didn't know what was going on, bless her. But
Yeah. Yeah, no,
it was
I
funny
mean,
to see.
you have a great way of celebrating afterwards. Like one time you pulled out this invisible machine gun and started shooting everywhere, hence
Yeah,
I guess nickname Fire, right?
yeah. Firearms. Bap, 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 bap.
Love
I'm
it,
gonna
love it.
keep that one. That's coming out in Dublin as well.
That's a good one. Well, I look forward to seeing it in a little bit. So. All right, so let's talk real quick more about the Cage Warrior fight. So I know that none of you haven't fought in the US yet. I know Cage Warriors every once in a while will have a card here. Is that something on your list? Do you ever dream to fight and look closer to your gym?
Yeah, I'd love to fight in San Diego. I mean, that'd be sick, just to get that feeling of fighting in America, the whole
Yeah,
vibe of it, because that's where most of the UFCs are in it. So
yeah, yeah.
to get that experience, and that'd be pretty cool. Maybe one day, yeah. But I do like being in the UK. I feel like the UK has that proper fighting spirit. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Especially fighting in Ireland, Dublin is even better. I mean, Ireland's known for its fighting, years of fighting, and they've got the best fighting spirit. So I can't wait to do it in front of an Irish crowd.
Yeah, the crowd is great, and at all the Cage Warrior events I see, but you know, I can't help but feel a little jealous that they do so few events here in the States. But hopefully, one day they come over here and you get a fight with them, and I get to watch it in person. So I wanted to ask one last thing. You brought up the UFC. What does the road ahead look like for you? Like, what's a lot of folks that are with Cage Warriors and other great feeder promotions that's their goal. What's your goal? Like, do you want to get the title at Cage Warriors, make a statement, move it, how do you want to go about this?
Like I say, I'm just focusing on the fight in front of me, get this win, and I go win by win. I'm just gonna look to win fights, keep winning fights, keep doing it in emphatic fashion. Get the eyes of the UFC. Maybe get Dana White Contender Series. Fight on
Yeah.
that. Get another win in front of Dana. Dana's gonna go, oh my god, this kid. This is what I need in the UFC. He knocks people out. He's young. He gets finishes. I need this guy. Leon Firearms, come get your contract. That's what
Get
he's
over
gonna say.
here. Get over here.
That's what he's
We'll,
gonna say.
we'll stitch that your impersonation and the actual one. You definitely have the fighting style that I think Dana looks for in those contender series.
Exactly, yeah. But at the same time, I do want to get the Cage Warriors belt. So
Absolutely.
when Harry goes, Harry and George, my coaches back home, um, when they go, I'm gonna get that belt, bring it back to Harry, give it to him.
Very nice. Very nice. Love that. All right. I'll leave you with one last one. What's up with the typology photo?
Tapology 4, I get this one a lot. The Tapology 4. It was actually Adam Darby, the guy who was in my corner, pranked
Okay.
me one day, and he changed my Tapology picture. People found it funny, and people always like it, so I haven't changed it. So from now on, I'm the fighting elf with the
I
cigar in my mouth.
I tell you this, I would not change it. Go as long as you can with it like that. I'm sure one day a coach or a promotion or someone's gonna be like, listen, we need to get a nice fight, a picture of you and your fight kit. But I think as long as you
I've
could keep
already
that.
been told to change it. I've already been told to change it, but I still
No,
haven't. I'm gonna ride it out until the last chance I get.
I love it. It's awesome. It's awesome. All right, man. Well, I appreciate you doing this. I want to give you an opportunity to tell folks how they can follow you. They need to see some of these clips that I'm seeing with what your gym's putting out, with what you're putting out, Cage Warriors. Tell them where to find you and then how they can keep up with your fights.
Yeah, Leon Arms MMA on Instagram and MMA Fight Academy on Instagram. Post all behind the scenes stuff, all training footage. Gives you a bit more of an insight to what does professional fighters have to do to prepare for the fight, stuff like that. My page is just me doing my thing, getting wins. You're gonna see knockouts. You're gonna see the odd picture with me hitting the Bosch looking good, and a lot of fighting stuff. So I'd appreciate a follow.
Very nice. Tune in, Cage Warriors 188. We'll see it go from 3-0 to 4-0. That's right.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Awesome.